E.N.D here, day 8 for this players of Kamigawa Dynasty. Leave me in the comments below what are your opinion regarding the current power levels. Has Kamigawa Dynasty increased it, remained the same, or decreased it? I think it's more increased than remained the same. Let's start. When we were young, 3 and 1 white is an instant. Up to 2 target creature each get +2/+2 until end of turn. If you control an artifact and an enchantment, those creatures gain also lifelink until end of turn. Touch the Spirit Realm for 2 and 1 white, it's an enchantment. Enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target artifact or creature until it leaves the battlefield. Channel for 1 and 1 white, discard it. Exile target artifact or creature, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Replication Specialist 4 and 1 blue, it's a 3/4 with flying. Whenever a non-token artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 1 and 1 blue if you do create a token that's a copy of that artifact. Acquisition Octopus for 2 and 1 blue, it's a 2/2. It's an artifact creature equipment octopus. Whenever it or equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, reconfigure for 2. Dokuchi Silencer for 1 and 1 black, it's a 2/1 with ninjutsu 1 and 1 black. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may discard a creature card. If you do, destroy target creature or planeswalker that players controls. Dockside Chef for 1 black, it's a 1/2 enchantment creature human citizen for 1 and 1 black, sacrifice an artifact or creature, draw a card. Reinforced Ronin for 1 red, it's a 2/2 with haste. At the beginning of your end step, return it to its owner's hand. Channel for 1 and 1 red, discard it and draw a card. Unforgiving 1 for 2 and 1 black, it's a 2/3 with menace. Whenever it attacks, return target creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the number of modified creatures you control. If you don't know what a modified creature is or how to interact with modified creatures, I did a video tutorial explaining this particular mechanic, how it works. Gravelighter for 2 and 1 black, it's a 2/2 with flying. Enters the battlefield, draw a card if a creature died this turn. Otherwise, each player sacrifices a creature. Seismic Wave for 2 and 1 red, it's an instant. It deals 2 damage to any target and 1 damage to each non-artifact creature target opponent controls. Flame Discharge for X and 1 red, it's an instant. It deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker. If you control a modified creature, as you cast the spell, it deals X plus 2 damage instead. Rabbit Battery for 1 red, it's a 1/1. It's an artifact creature equipment rabbit. It has haste. Equipped creature get +1/+1 and has haste. Reconfigure for 1 red. We need to stop here and discuss this card. For only 1 red, you will get a 1/1 with haste. It's an artifact creature, it's also an equipment. Then, for only 1 red, you will reconfigure. Therefore, let's say turn 1, play Mountain and Rabbit Battery, swing for 1 damage. Turn 2, play another 1-drop. Reconfigure Rabbit Battery on that 1-drop, give it haste, and swing again for damage. It's a very good card in my opinion. Roaring Earth for 1 and 1 green, it's an enchantment. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or vehicle you control, which means it has landfall. Channel for X and 2 green, discard it, put X +1/+1 counters on target land you control. It becomes a 0/0 green spirit creature token with haste, it's still a land. Invigorating Hot Springs for 1 red and 1 green, it's an enchantment. Enters the battlefield with 4 +1/+1 counters on it. Modified creatures you control have haste. Remove a +1/+1 counter from it, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery and only once each turn. In very simple words, just put a creature in play, then move a +1/+1 counter on that creature. The creature will haste because it's modified, and then you can swing for damage. Containment Construct for 2, it's a 2/1. Whenever you discard a card, you may exile that card from your graveyard. If you do, you may play that card this turn. Toashi Guidebot for 4, it's a 2/1. Enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. 4 tap, draw a card. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each modified creature you control. Mech Hanger, it's a land. Tap for 1 colorless. Tap, add 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast a pilot or vehicle spell. 3 tap, target vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. The good thing about this card is that it doesn't come in play as tapped. Roadside Reliquary, a land. Tap for 1 colorless, also this doesn't come in play as tapped. 2 tap, sacrifice it, draw a card if you control an artifact. Draw a card if you control an enchantment. Finally, the rare cards. March of Bergoning Live for X and 1 green, it's an instant. As additional cost to cast the spell, you may exile a number of green cards from your hand. The spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. Choose target creature with mana value less than X. Search your library for a creature card with the same name as that creature. Put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. It's a different version of Chord of Calling. Kotose the Silent Spider, 3, 1 blue and 1 black, it's a 4/4, it's a human ninja. It's a human ninja without ninjutsu. I wonder why. Maybe there is too much text to read. Enters the battlefield. Exile target card in opponent's graveyard other than a basic land card. Search the player's graveyard, hand and library for any number of cards with the same name as that card and exile them. As long as you control Kotose, you may play one of the exile cards and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it. It's not bad, but it's a 5-drop. I think in standard can play. Mindling Mech for 2 and 1 blue, it's a 4/3 artifact vehicle, flying. When it becomes cruise for the first time each turn until end of turn, it becomes a copy of target non-legendary creature that crewed this turn, except it's a 4/3. It's a vehicle artifact in addition to at other times, and it has flying. Crew for only 1. Thundering Raiju for 2 and 2 red, it's a 3/3 with haste. Whenever it attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then it deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of modified creatures you control. Orc Head Helmet for 1 and 1 red, it's a 2/2. It's an artifact creature, equipment orc. Equip creature get +2/+2. Whenever it or equip creature deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice the creature. If you do, discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. Reconfigure for 3. Rizona Azari Commander for 1 red and 1 white, it's a 3/3 with haste. When it deals combat damage to a player, if it doesn't have an indestructible counter on it, put an indestructible counter on it. Whenever combat damage is dealt to you, remove an indestructible counter from Rizona. Spring Reef Avenger for 3 and 2 green, it's a 6/5 with ninjutsu, 3 and 1 green. When it deals combat damage to a player, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Probably the last mythic card, Explosive Singularity, 8 and 2 red, it's a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast the spell, you may tap any number of untapped creatures you control. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature tapped this way. It deals 10 damage to any target, which means that you can target an opponent, you can target a creature, or you can target a planeswalker. Even though it's a 10-drop, you can tap untapped creatures to reduce its casting cost. So this was the last card in this particular day 8 of the spoilers of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Join me tomorrow for the last day of spoilers, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.